I'm David Shepard.
You know, when Steve says, speaking of pros, when we think of Kentucky, we think, well, who's coming off the bench? That's how deep those Wildcats are.
Yes.
And we know this. The Indiana Hoosiers were 4-5. 4-5 against AP top 25 teams. Guys, that's evident about how they're going to ultimately fail against Kentucky, because Kentucky, guys, think about this.
I agree with you.
Anthony Davis could get a double-double if he had a 25-pound weight on his back.
Oh, hell
He's playing in barefoot slippers. That's how consistent this guy is. I'll tell you what. When Christian Watford went off for 20 points, we know about he had an all-time great game, but he outscored both Davis and Terrence Jones. And that's not going to happen again. No. And I'm telling you something right now. This kid, Marcus Teague, going 24 points against Iowa State.
7 assists.
Yeah.
7 assists.
Great. Really good
player. You know what he is more than anything? He's a pit bull.
Yes.
And that's why the Kentucky Wildcats are going to pit bull their way to the Elite Eight. Well, Jay took my thunder away about that game, because Draymond Green not only wipes the floor, but he's also the one guy that conveyed Izzo to getting a technical foul. Okay? And when we talk about UNC, they are so deep. And remember this. Strickland is their best on-ball defender. Well, guess what? He's hurt. He's hurt.
Yes.
He was out for the season since December. And we know with teams like that, they seem to gel. When Zubek stepped up in 2010, that's exactly what Henson did. Guys, think about this. He was out with the wrist problem, comes back, gets a double-double in 28 minutes. So you know how deep they are. Harrison Barnes, I know, listen, no disrespect to Robinson, no disrespect to any of these players, including Davis on Kentucky. But I'm telling you what, right now, he is the most polished player in college basketball. And Syracuse, the depth they have with Sutherland, with Joseph, with, of course, Jardine.
Waiters. Yeah.
And guys, Jardine, was I watching Jerry West or Scoop Jardine in the second half? That's how on he was. So the Final Four number ones, you got to go with those 4 teams.
We have seen a lot of coaches in their mid to late 60s win their sport's respective title. Coach K, Jim Calhoun, and Tony La Russa within the last 2 years. Nobody expected Coach K to win with Brian Zubak as his center, the Redbirds to beat a 102-win Philly team at Philly's Place, and UConn, for crying out loud, was 9-9 in their own conference. Jim Boeheim is truly one of the greats. If he beats Wisconsin, which he did, he'll have more NCAA tourney wins than John Wooden. Guys, think about that. Wooden isn't just a legend, he's the legend, the icon, the paramount coach when it comes to all of coaching in any single sport.
All I know is this. You compare the guys, last year in college, Griffin had more yards, he had a better passer rating, he had more touchdowns, and he had less picks. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the game where he runs the ball, and very well, might I add.
He does.
We talk about a guy that gained 55 yards in the Alamo Bowl game. You know how many Luck had in the Fiesta Bowl?
2?
No, that would be doing him an incredible justice. He had -3. It's a multi-dimensional league, guys. The evolution of Tebow, the evolution of Cam Newton. I'm sorry, I'm going with the dual threat. RG3 is here to stay, and he's going to thrive. Luck, bye-bye. This is a $100 million phenom that was the guy who was supposed to be our savior. Yep. I know you don't like hearing that, Nisa, because you expected Miami Heat to roll over the Knicks, and that's exactly what they're doing. 17.5 points per game for Amari Stoudemire. That is a career low, with the exception of his 18-year-old rookie season. The one issue I have is the mismatch was what? It was Stoudemire, and it was against Bosch, because Bosch cannot contain him.
Bosch can't guard anybody.
Well, he can't. He might be able to guard us, right?
Just about that's it.
On a good day.
On a good day.
But the thing that bothers me the most is this was our mismatch. This was our bread and butter, and this clown takes himself right out of the game and right out of the series. Congratulations, you have it already, Miami Heat. The NBA, it feels like a holiday. Because, I'll tell you what, Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, this is a good one.
And the reason being this is because, and I know you love LeBron James, but I think the NBA in particular, maybe not the players, but the fans, the casual fan, is rooting for Kevin Durant.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? He's the next superstar. If they can get over the hump with the defending NBA champions, with Westbrook being as effective and dynamic as he is, I really believe the Thunder are the feel-good story of the NBA. Quentin Couples, and this is why I got to give him a C-, because this is a guy that set career highs in North Carolina in his junior season, right? 2010. And to me, if you're setting your career highs when you're not at your full potential being your senior year, that says something about your character. It says something about your work ethic. The fact that he was 4th on his team in tackles. Now, he's not exactly Lawrence Taylor or Ray Lewis or even, God bless, Junior Seau in college. So, to me, I don't understand the risky moves they're making. I think Tebow is behind all of this. You better do what they tell you. This is the sheriff in town. I echo and I applaud and claim everything you were saying, Jay, because this is the situation. He was the ringleader. Jonathan Vilma should be ashamed, completely embarrassed what his behavior was. And the fact that he basically wrote the book on the Cardinals, the fact that allegedly he contributed $10,000 to this mess. And I tell you what, it's worse as a player trying to hurt these guys than a coach because you are in the battleground with these guys. How dare
And he knows what it means to get knocked out for a season.
Yeah. And then the nerve of this guy for taking Twitter as a resource to try to fight back. All I'm saying is this, with the tragic, all the tragic happened to Junior Seau. We have to protect these guys. And for God's sakes, do not hurt these guys. Seeing the mother just so distraught.
Yeah.
That was bone chilling. I mean, God bless Junior Seau for what he stood for, and I hope this opens a lot of dialogue to concussions.
However, if I will say so myself, they have defense and they have teamwork. They work in a climate that is the ultimate ingredient to championship caliber basketball. The beauty of sports is when all doubters write you off. You know why? Because it gives you the necessary drive and motivation to prove them wrong. And I'll tell you what, that is something the Bulls have done this season without Rose already. Hey, well, listen, we're going to go in the direction of the Pirates. And I understand that we talk about Andrew McCutchen being the face of this franchise. He is the exact opposite of the surly Barry Bonds. You talk about a franchise that has not had a winning season in 20 years. I mean, I am dying to see the Pirates do something, and they don't have to put up with that nonsense punchline. Oh, opening day of the Pirates, it's really 4 months to Steelers training camp. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, speaking of a guy who had a lot of pressure and couldn't handle it, it's the franchise now outcast, okay, Kevin Cobb, and that's got to be the game today. Arizona Eagles. This guy lost 6 games in a row, folks. Not to mention that he was sent on a bus to Arizona. They could not wait to get rid of this guy. Michael Vick, in 4 single games, outrushed Cobb in the entire season. And it's ridiculous. And one more thing I'll say in Vick's defense. If it's not for David Fakers, the Eagles beat the Packers. And I believe they beat the Falcons, they beat the Bears, and I also think they then beat the Steelers. Michael Vick is the guy to watch, and he's going to throw all over that Arizona defense.
Come on.
For God's sakes, Mike Trout was born in the 1990s. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I mean, how old are you, 38 or 28? We know he has accomplished this at the most grueling position in the game of baseball. I'm not talking about catcher. I'm talking about shortstop. All right? And you look at the guys who are 38 and legends of the game, Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, they had 138 hits. To say, hey, kid, Willie Mays, we know about the catch, but we also know he had 144 hits when he was 38 years old. These are all-time icons, all-time legends in this sport. And we also know that Derek Jeter, number 2, is our mantle. He's our Joe Namath. He's even our Michael Jordan. Like Jeet. If I can be like Jeet, and I'm telling you something right now, okay? I am going to have my grandchildren be thanking Derek Jeter someday because I know every single day I am thanking Derek Jeter.